Welcome to Rise Up After Hours. My name's Danielle, and if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching the replay. Let's share screen and get down to business. It is October 25th. I can't believe Halloween is next Monday, which is just flipping crazy that it went that fast. So you guys should be able to see what's happening. Give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comments if you guys see that. Please, it would be helpful. Looking for where the chat is. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, oh, I see some thumbs up. Thank you. All right. So really briefly, because you guys have access to the workstation news tab, so you pretty much know all of this already, likely. Walt Disney World collection's out. Christmas with Disney, that really cute Christmas tree, Mickey Mouse and friends are on the little Christmas tree, and the lights change color, which I think is so cool. Bricks are out, and yummy. Sense of the Season is coming. I forget the date. It's not yet out. It's not out yet, but it is coming. There's a special join kit this month where they buy the $99 kit and they get a $65 Fluor, what is it? The Fluor diffuser, which is the one that I have right behind me, right there, free added to the kit, which is an amazing value. So if you know of anybody who's like, yeah, I want the diffuser and I want to get extra gifts for people, and then possibly maybe they want to start doing a business too. That's awesome. It's a great kind of intro to the possibility of becoming a consultant. Nightmare Before Christmas and holiday collections are still going strong. A few things I think are sold out. I know we have also, and I didn't write it down, but the classic holiday, I forget what the name of it, vintage holiday warmers, the Cardinal sold out, which I'm not surprised that it sold out because it's always been highly requested, but I'm also surprised it sold out first. Buddies, new buddies are out, world tour. Okay, have you guys seen the clues on the Sensi's Facebook page? There are clues, they're not clues, they're actually cities that have already been announced as to where world tour will happen. If you've not heard of what world tour is, every spring, winter, spring season, right before we start our spring catalog, we get together locally. So it's usually Anaheim, Riverside, and Ontario are the three locations that it's been at the last 8 years. Well, minus when COVID was happening, when it was virtual. But of the 8 years I've been a consultant, it's been in Ontario, Riverside, or Anaheim. And likely it'll be one of those cities again, but it's 1 day of training from home office comes down. You guys, it's so much fun. It's worth the ticket to get in, but then also you get the experience, you get to see everything in person and the training, of course. So highly recommend keeping an eye out for that. Plan on coming, and it's definitely worth it. Warmer and bar bundles are still happening. Check out your specials tab on your website. It's all under there. And then two paychecks. What does that mean? It means that there's 2 paychecks left of the year, November and December. So this is like the nitty gritty, the down into the end of the year. And we're going to make the next 2 months amazing, you guys. Okay, I have plans. Before we get into our topic, well, as an intro, I want you guys to consider, I'm going to move this over so I can see my notes. Consider your thoughts when it comes to the word motivation, or what motivation might mean to you. What beliefs do you guys have about yourself when it comes to motivation? What narrative has become your story? Like when you think I'm not motivated, maybe if that's your initial reaction, or maybe it's not, I don't know. I don't want to assume, but what is that initial feeling when it comes to motivation? You wish you had more, likely. I know a lot of people feel that way. I know I feel that way sometimes. And what would happen? I want you to think about what would happen if the opposite was true. What if the opposite of what you believe is true about yourself and motivation? What if that was completely untrue and the opposite was actually true? Carol Dweck, who is the author of Mindset, has done major research in growth mindset, and I want to share her definition of it. Growth mindset is, or in a growth mindset, people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Brains and talent are only the starting point. But what essentially it means is that anything can be learned. Grow, if you have a growth mindset, it means that you may not know how to do something well yet. Yet is a really big word, but it's possible. And the belief that it's possible is a growth mindset. So this view creates a love of learning and a resilience that is essential for great accomplishment, which is her definition. I kind of paraphrased a little bit in the middle, but you guys get the point. In other words, success comes from effort. Success comes from practice. Success comes from hard work, not giving up. And it produces what ends up happening when you embrace a growth mindset is you have a love of learning. You embrace a challenge. You think, oh, a puzzle, I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna be hurty, like it's gonna hurt my brain, but I'm gonna figure it out. You gain confidence. Oh my goodness, this is so dumb. I always think of the story of when I was about 11 or 12 years old and my mom had a Target return and she was like, okay, you're old enough, go into the store, go give the return, give them the receipt, you're gonna get the money back and come back to the car. And she's waiting on the curb. And this is back in the 90s, so this was not so weird. And I'm like, Mom, I don't wanna go. No, what if they ask me questions? I was panicking, you guys. I was panicking. Like, I don't know what to do. What if they ask me a question and I don't know the answer? I don't wanna go. And she forced me out the car. Like, she's like, no, you're going. I went in and I was like, I want to return this, really nervous. I handed the receipt to her and walked out with the cash. They didn't ask me any weird questions or anything. And I remember thinking as I walk out the door, darn it, my mom was right for one. But number two is, gosh dang it, like I can do this. Like I have all this new confidence now. And has that ever happened to you guys? Where you're like, I don't want to. And then you realize, oh wait, I didn't die. That is what happens when you embrace a growth mindset. You gain confidence, you happiness is a result of that. And let me wrap up this little intro saying curiosity about the world without worrying about looking stupid is also a result of having a growth mindset. All right, next, let's see. Did I hit the wrong? Did it go? It won't go. There we go. So how to get motivated, stay motivated, even when you don't feel like it. Everyone's guilty of this. Did I miss something in my notes? I did not. Okay, just making sure. Nervous speaking in public. Diana, oh, you are not alone. Trust me. I'm so glad that it's just like this tiny little hole that I have to look at, that I know there's people on the other side, but I can't see you. So it makes it so much easier for me. What is motivation? You guys kind of heard growth mindset. Motivation is the process that starts and guides, maintains action towards a goal. In other words, at some point, the pain or discomfort of not doing it becomes greater than the pain of actually getting the thing done. And I'm going to give you a shout out and a resource to you guys. Most of what I've learned has come from James Clear and his book Atomic Habits. And this article, if you go to jamesclear.com /motivation, has tons more detail on what I'm going to share tonight. But this is where I got a lot of information that if you guys want to, like, I actually have this article pinned, or what do you call it, bookmarked, because I go back and review it all the time. You become motivated when it's easier to change or take action than it is to stay the same. Motivation causes you to take action. It's a process that starts, guides, maintains. Okay, I already read that. Thirsty. If you're thirsty, right? It's way easier to get up and go get yourself a glass of water than it is to stay thirsty. Like, how uncomfortable is it? And I'm thinking I'm thirsty right now because I just mentioned it, but it's way more uncomfortable to stay thirsty than just to go get up and get a glass of water. The motivation, it's more painful to stay thirsty, right? It's easier to bear the inconvenience of getting your butt up off the couch and walking across the room to go grab your drink, right? Right. Let's see, what can we do to make it more likely that we climb that mental threshold and be more consistently motivated? That's the trick, right? That's the $100 question. Maybe it's more than $100. What can we do when we struggle with the process of even getting started and working and maintaining the actions needed for our goals? Like, we all have goals, right? We all have goals. What is it that will help us get cross that threshold and maintain action towards and continue that motivation? So here's some misconceptions about motivation. And you trust me, you're not alone when you think about that, when you hear this. Motivation actually happens after you started a behavior or a task. It's not after you've read a quote or watched a really inspirational video. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of inspirational videos, but it's never gotten me off the couch. I've never been like, okay, I'm gonna do it now. Maybe Mel Robbins has, but that's the exception. So it's easier to work out, for an example, when you're already at the gym, dressed with a killer playlist in your hand, right? And on your phone or whatever. Versus when you're on the couch in your jammies and Netflix is on autoplay, right? It has that question sometimes. Are you still watching? Then it says, like, don't ever ask me again. If it's on autoplay and you're in your jammies at home, well, of course, it's going to be much harder to work out at that point than if you were already dressed and you were already at the gym. Why? Why is that? There a difference? It's pretty easily understood, because action has already taken place. It's so much easier to hop on a treadmill, as an example, because you've already driven yourself to the gym, right? And you've already loaded the playlist and you've already got your water in your water bottle. You're already there. All of the struggle happens when you need to start the action. You need the most motivation. You can see in this little graph here, this little artwork, you need the most motivation just to start the action, just to start. But once you're already in action, of course, it's much easier to keep going. You've already done all the things leading up to the beginning of the action, right? Pardon me. In other words, think of Newton's first law: an object in motion tends to stay in motion. We've already made actions, or we've already taken steps towards the thing that we want to do. And think about that in your business. It's much easier to already get the things done if you're already there. I know I've repeated myself. Let me keep going. So how can we apply this to your business? Well, what is the action that you guys are struggling with? You guys feel free to share in the comments below, or you can unmute yourself. I don't mind. What is it that you're struggling with? What is it? Why is it painful? What causes the friction to even begin or to start? What causes it? Is it a place to work? Is it not knowing what to do? For me, a long time, so I had no idea where to start or what to do when I actually sat down. Like, I had a place to work, I had a table to sit at, and a laptop to use. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. I was like, I don't know what's important. I had no vision. I had no clarity. There was no one guiding me that way until Jacqueline helped. Jacqueline, our Superstar director, I reached out to her. She kind of gave some direction on where I should be going. I still struggled. I'm not saying that it fixed everything, but it helped, because that was my hiccup. Was I have no idea what to do. I sit down at my table, and before I know it, I'm like dusting and clearing off old papers, and I'm like, well, this is not helping me reach my goals. I'm doing busy work. So how do we make it easier to start the things that we actually need to do to reach our goals? Have you guys ever done the thing as kids, or maybe even as an adult, where on a slick wood or tile floor, you wear socks and you try sliding, like slide across? Yeah, you guys have done it. Maybe when you mop. I don't know. I don't mop after you mop when it dries. I'm like, I don't mop with socks on, so that was silly. We need to get you guys socks, in other words, to make it easier to start the things you don't want to do, but you know that you should be doing, to help you get where you want to go and get what you want from your business. We need some motivation socks. Diana doesn't know where to start. So see, it's a very common thing. You're not alone, trust me. So how to get motivated. Oh, did you get that takeaway, by the way? Yeah, so it actually, motivation, you're not gonna, when you say I need motivation, just do your Scentsy job, your Scentsy work. I say job, but it doesn't feel like a job. When you need that motivation, actually, it doesn't come first. That's like the biggest misconception. It doesn't come first. What comes first is action. Motivation happens as a result. That's the biggest takeaway. Motivation happens as a result. Okay, next. How to get motivated and take action. Okay, well, start here. Stop focusing your time on and energy on other parts of the process. Know your goals and create a task list. Schedule your motivation. I'm going to cover all this in a second. Schedule your motivation and put your decision making in autopilot. Make it easy to start, like I said. Make motivation a habit. Create rituals and routines. Okay. I'd have time and then I'd struggle with knowing what to do and when to do it, right? Now I have an actual daily list of things that I do daily, that I need to do daily, that I should be doing daily. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm human, but it's on my list and my checklist. And I know this is a daily thing. It's easy stuff. It's looking at the news tab. It's recording my numbers because I like to know. You can't measure what you can't manage what you can't measure or you don't measure. So I record my numbers. Those are the things that I do daily. I also have a weekly checklist and I also have a monthly checklist. So some of my monthly things are like sending out my little postcards, and I always try to get that done in the first 2 weeks of the month. I have things that I do at the end of the month. So I have a checklist. They're broken up into different weeks of the month, and that those tasks need. Oh, okay. They're just basically assigned to the week that they need to get done. My mailers, yes, I said before, in the first 2 weeks, and I always try to do it after I get paid because I don't want to use my personal money on my Scentsy business. It's the other way around. My Scentsy business runs itself and then also pays me. So instead of starting the week with, I wonder when I'm going to do the mailers, now that I have a checklist, I actually go and schedule the day. Okay, I'm not going to have time this day or this day, but I'm going to have time this day, and this is when I'm going to plan to do it. I make it, for me personally, I make it flexible. I don't ever assign a time. I just say, I know it's going to happen in this day. But depending on what you need for your schedule, you might want to assign a time. It's just up to you and what works best for you. And it's okay to play around with the ideas. For me, if I were to assign a time and like my kids ended up having a tantrum or they spilled something, I know like I would feel anxious about the fact that it's 4 o'clock and I haven't done my thing that I need to do. And that to me is not a system that works for me. So I'd prefer to have the whole week. This is the day that I think I'm going to have time to get it done. If I don't, this is another day that I could do it too. Like that flexibility for the way my life works really great for me. And that's just depending on you and what you prefer. But again, so I know my goals and I have a task list that will help support those goals. I schedule my motivation, which is simply saying that I know when I'm going to be working and then the motivation comes after. You're not going to always feel like doing the things or sticking to a schedule or a ritual or routine or a habit, but they're just to create the motivation. If you know that after this happens, then you do this particular thing every week, then that's when it happens. It's a ritual, it's a routine. It helps you create that motivation that's already like because you're already in action. Hopefully that's making sense. It's coming across okay. All right. Reflect on the tasks that you're struggling with starting. So a good ritual, some consideration here, a good ritual is one that removes the need to make a decision. So I was actually reflecting on one of my favorite books. I've already told you about Atomic Habits by James Clear. I believe there is a free audio book on Spotify of that book. So if you don't want to read it in like a physical form, you can always listen to it when you're washing dishes, driving wherever you drive. But I highly recommend Atomic Habits. And then this is my favorite one, Take the Stairs. This is my game-changing book that I first read in 2017, I want to say. So you need to remove the need to make a decision. You need to remove that tension to start, right? So instead of asking what should I do first, or when should I do it, or how should I do it, most people never get moving because they can't decide how to get started. You want a starting behavior to be easy and automatic so that when you have the strength to finish it, when it becomes too difficult or challenging. So again, making it like so easy to start. Like these are your motivational socks, right? You're removing any friction. You want it to be easy to start. And it might take some playing with your schedule or playing with a routine or what's the word I'm thinking of? Task list. I don't know. Whatever you're using to plan the things you have to do in your day. If Scentsy is not on there, if your Scentsy tasks are not on there, well, first, why not? I think a lot of time as women, particularly, we struggle with putting something that is for us, which is our happiness. I know Scentsy brings me joy. Well, I wouldn't be doing this otherwise, you guys. I love that this is my job, and I love sharing scents with people. I love having people tell me how great their house smells because of what they just ordered. Like that is awesome to me. And for a lot of women, I think the struggle is when you tell me if I'm the same or I'm not the same, or if or maybe there's something a little different for you. But it's so hard to like prioritize that something that is mine and for me and not for my kids, not for anybody else, not for my friends, not for any responsibilities I might have with where I volunteer or all the multitudes of things that you have, your job, if you have a full-time job, your spouse, your family, all those obligations that you have. If you're not first scheduling time for your business, you have to treat your business like a business, right? You have to schedule that time in. You have to carve out an hour if you have an hour. Whatever, half an hour every day is more than enough time to be focused. And you could be really strategic in what you're doing in that half an hour. But if you aren't scheduling that time, why not? Is it that you don't feel like it's important? Or you feel like you would be feeling selfish if you were to do that? Because it's not true. I hope you know that. I know it's really hard if that's something that you've accustomed to. Like if you're normally doing that and putting yourself last on your list, you are worth the investment of time and effort in your business. So carve out that time. And if you need support there, if you need words and verbiage on how to have that kind of conversation, because I've had to have a conversation with my spouse, with Brian, and I've said, like, hey, this is like my job. I'm going to be scheduling hours as if I were working, but of course it's going to be where the kids come first and all of their priorities come first. But in the afternoon or evenings when he gets home, he knows every Tuesday, second and fourth Tuesdays, I'm here in my office and he's got dinner. Like he knows. That's just like if I had a regular job and I had to clock in and leave the house, it would be the same kind of thing. He would be expected to handle things for me in my place. Same thing that I do for him when he goes to work. It's okay to do that. So anyways, that was a little tangent. Do you want to work out in the first, this is just an example, but you want to work out first thing in the morning, your shoes and your workout gear in order to reduce friction. An example is your shoes and your workout clothes are on within 10 minutes of waking up because they're right next to your bed because they're on the walkway to the bathroom and you always go to the bathroom. You see how we reduced the friction? Before you even leave your bedside, you have your clothes right there and you're on the way to the bathroom. So you take your clothes with you, put them on in the bathroom or wherever you get dressed. But the idea is the example shows that you've reduced friction to start the task that will help making the decision an automatic one. You're already dressed for the gym. Of course, you're going to have your shoes on. Of course, you're going to start working out now because you've already done the hard part of starting. If your shoes are on and you're already dressed to work out, Alexa starts playing at a certain time. I don't know, you set an alarm. How much easier is it going to be to hop on the treadmill if that's what your goal is? Think of that right now, something that you should be doing in your business and you're not doing it well or to what you think is a better standard, well enough that you're not getting the results that you want. So something that you should be doing that will help you get those results that you want. And if you're feeling brave, I would love for you to share it in the comments what that thing is. We've got nothing but love here. This is a judgment-free zone because I can almost guarantee it. You are not alone, and there are so many other consultants that are struggling with the very same exact thing right now, the same exact feelings or struggles or tasks that you should be doing, and you know you're not doing it to the standard that you would. What was the question? Is that what I just saw? Repeat the question. So repeating the question. I want you to think of something right now that you know you should be doing in your business, but you're not doing it well. You're not doing it well enough to get the results that you're after in your business. Maybe it's that you are not getting the PRV that you want for a paid at title, or maybe it's you're not getting new teammates to earn a promotion. You're not earning new customers. Maybe it's a thing that maybe if you're feeling brave to share, that you know you should be finding new customers, but you just don't think you're doing a very good job of it right now. Because I can promise you, like, same.
For me, it's, yeah, I haven't been reaching out. I haven't even offered the opportunity in probably a month to
In a month.
anyone.
In a month, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when was the last time I talked about it? Like 2 weeks ago. So you are not alone. It's the Michael Jackson song. Oh my goodness, I feel like I should have a drink right now. It's only Tuesday. Yeah, you're not alone. Okay, so and actually what's so funny is in my notes it says join conversations as an example. Sponsoring, you don't do it. What are the obstacles? What are the obstacles? What can you do? Here's some food for thought. What can you do to make the friction disappear? What can you do to make that easier? That there isn't any issue starting the task. So it's not that you don't have motivation, because motivation's crap. You're not going to have the motivation. It doesn't come first. The task, the initial beginning is what comes first. So how are you going to start? That's the thing you have to ask yourself. It's not something I expect you guys to answer right now. It's going to take some mulling over, maybe rewatching this video, taking notes or reviewing notes, and then trying new things, trying out ideas. But you have to reduce that friction. What other thing can you do that you can make it even easier to start, or even easier now? So start tomorrow. You can try that idea, whatever first popped in your head, start tomorrow. You're not going to feel like it, you guys. You're never going to feel like it. But once you've implemented a routine or a ritual, you're going to make it easier. You're going to make starting easier for yourself. And I know I've mentioned it before, if you've come to other Rise Up After Hour trainings. For me, if in the morning, if I go sit on the couch, I'm doomed. I cannot sit on the couch first thing in the morning, because then I scroll my phone, guys. It is bad. So my ritual, what I've learned about myself, is if I sit at the counter in the kitchen, I get going with the rest of our day. Or the counter at the kitchen or in the dining room table, but I cannot sit on the couch, because if I sit on the couch, I'm doomed. So you have to play around with that for yourself. All right, here, how to make a motivation a habit. So again, motivation does not come first. It needs to be a habit first. Create your task list, right? Make it so that you can't say no. For me, I cannot say no to getting my day started when I sit at the counter after I'm done getting the girls their breakfast and all that good stuff. Give yourself grace, though, you guys. We're not perfect, and we're human. I think another thing that we all struggle with is that when we don't do the things we know we should be doing, we then are really hard on ourselves, and we say, oh crap, and then it's been 2 weeks and we haven't even thought about restarting again. And one of the things, and it might be in my notes here later, so if I repeat myself, you'll deal. But one of the things is don't miss more than one day in a row. Or was it one? Don't miss 2 days in a row. So you can miss one day, but like get back up the next day. Like it's not a big deal. You're human. You're gonna miss days, and that's fine. But don't think badly about yourself if that happens, because that's human nature, you guys. Things happen. Accept that it's gonna happen, and then just get back up on the next day. Try again tomorrow. Not a big deal. So give yourself grace. Routine should get you moving and creates the reminder. It's the trigger for your new habit. So here we go. So make it so easy you can't say no. So whether it's like maybe like getting your shoes on and your gym clothes on, maybe it's grabbing your planner and your phone and you pull up the app and you set a thing on your app that you can't open up Facebook and Instagram, and instead you open up whatever app you use to text people about whatever follow up you need to do. I don't know, like whatever that task is for you. I mean, it could be, Diana, you mentioned having conversations with join people or join conversations. So it could be like first thing in the morning, I'm going to pick one person every morning and I'm going to pull up my app. I'm going to set it up where I sit here, and that's just your routine to get you moving toward the end goal. It's the system that supports your goal. It is the system that supports your goal. Your goals, you're not going to always get a teammate every day, but it's the system that's supporting your goals, right? And you're going to follow that pattern every time. Every time, that's the same pattern where it's possible. I know life happens, you guys. It's not a big deal if you miss a day. But this is how routines and habits and systems get stronger so that you get those results. And motivation happens after. Then you'll get a little bit boost of confidence. Hey, I did that today. I did that. And that is something I've never done before. That's going to give you confidence. Okay. And that's going to keep momentum going in your motivation. Your routine creates the reminder. It's a trigger for the habit. So again, like in the example of the shoes with the gym goal, your trigger is putting the shoes on, putting on the gym clothes, and the habit is the working out for the goal, which is to be healthy, even when you don't feel motivated, even when you don't, because you're not gonna. Successful people are people that did things even when they didn't feel like it. That's the only difference, you guys. I promise. It sounds so oversimplified, but it's true. And you want to stay motivated by using the Goldilocks rule. So this might be something like, as an example, well, first let me read it about it. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are just the right amount of difficult, just a little bit of edge, right? It's not too hard, but it's not too easy that you're just like bored with it. It's just right. It's the Goldilocks rule, right? So there are things that are challenging your business. Maybe it's just getting active every month. Maybe that's been a struggle for you. Maybe it is getting your 500. If you are a leader, if you are earning promotions, or if that's something that you are aiming to do, 500 should be your goal. But if you're like never active and then you shoot for 2000 PRV, while it's definitely possible, is it within your Goldilocks rule? I don't know. It would be more comfortable, probably, and there's more to celebrate when you get active, and then you can always adjust your goal later to make it more challenging if you need it to be. Sorry, pardon me. Probably there are things in your business right now that are too easy. Your goals might have you wanting to learn how to create social media content and graphics like other big consultants do, or whatever. Aspirations that you might have, I want you to filter it through the 3 legs of success. And you've seen that before. We'll talk about it in a minute. And through our 3 core values. You remember what our Scentsy core values? Simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. If it's simple and authentic to you, and you're sharing it with others, you're being generous and telling other people what you're doing, then you've hit all 3 core values. So filter it through PRV, sponsoring, and coaching, simplicity, authenticity, generosity. And that is a really great marker of like just a filter of what are you choosing to do in your business. How is your PRV? Is it steady? Is it consistently 500? Is it consistently 1,000? Is it consistently 2,000? Hello, extra 5% in your bonus in your income. Is it 2,500 every month? Because guess what? That's annual sales. That's extra money in your pocket at the end of the year, which is awesome. I had that once. How is your sponsoring? You know, if you're thinking, I'm going to sponsor 10 people this month, is that within your Goldilocks rule? Probably not. But you know, 1 or 2 people might be, you know. How is your coaching? And if people are not responding to your coaching, then you need to not pour into them and find new people to pour yourself into who are willing to do work. So that's just my little note on coaching. This is actually why I started this training every Tuesday and Thursday, or I'm sorry, every Tuesday, the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. I started these trainings in 2017 because people were asking me questions and I was spending a lot of time individually training on the same exact topics. So I made it much more feasible for my lifestyle and for you, hopefully for you guys, where I've been consistent and you can expect this every single second and fourth Tuesday. Are you consistently? I already said that. All right. Are you making a marketing sales plan? Okay, that's something new. We haven't talked about it, and I'm actually talking about it this whole week. Kind of started a little bit with motivation, but we're gonna on Friday, I'm gonna do a Facebook Live in our team page. I'll share more about it tomorrow, but I'm gonna talk about marketing sales plan. And I just learned this, so I'm gonna teach it to you guys. It has made a world of difference. And this is why I believe that I'm over 2,800 PRV this month. So I'm going to teach it to you guys so you can do the same. It's a really amazing skill set that I've like blown away by. So using Scentsy core values, is it simple? Is it authentic? And are you being generous and sharing what is working for you and your team on our team page? That's what's going to be something that you can move forward in your business with. Right, let's see. Motivational food for thought. Okay, here are some ideas after you've begun your ritual, your routine, your new schedule, however you want to put it, and maybe you still find yourself struggling a little bit. Filter your task again through the Goldilocks rule and through our core values and our what's it called? The 3 legs of success. There we go. And here's some more food for thought. Your mind is a suggestion engine. When you feel stuck, when you, like earlier, I know Jacqueline asked in a group message that is a few of you guys are in, or was it, what did she ask? I don't remember, but not a lot of people replied. Your mind is a suggestion engine, which means it's right now it's probably suggesting this is too hard. I'm gonna give up. When you think about something that you need to get done and it's like, oh my gosh, you should just stop. Like your mind is saying you should just stop. And it's gonna suggest that you do, right? And you're only gonna fail if you quit. That's the only way to guarantee failure is when you quit. So you can take an easier path, absolutely, if that's what your brain's telling you to do. But if you pause for a moment, you can discover new suggestions. There are ideas in your brain. You just give yourself a moment to pause of what you can try. Your mind is likely also going to suggest that you're going to feel really good about accomplishing those things that you have on your list when the work is done, right? Your mind's also going to suggest that. Discomfort is temporary. One of my favorite phrases when I first became a mom is all of this is temporary. My kid is teething. All of this is temporary. My kid just had a blowout. All of this is temporary. My kid is a tantrum throwing 2-year-old. All of this is temporary. It's one of my favorite things to repeat to myself when I'm struggling because it's true. It's a good reminder that this is all temporary. This little moment of frustration, of lack of motivation, of struggle in your business. This is the dip, right? Everybody talks about the dip. All of this is temporary. It's temporary. It's going to get better. You only are going to definitely fail if you quit. You're never going to regret good work when it's done. And that's pretty self-explanatory. And this is a good one. Reconnect to your why. If you're not sure if you want to continue with Scentsy, I want to ask you, why did you first start? What what possibilities are there for you in your business that will change your life for the better? Because all of those possibilities are true. I know many people, and I've experienced it myself. Well, they've earned once in a lifetime trips. They have earned income that they are so grateful for because, I just shared the story of, I forget who it was. She had a leak in her roof, but because of Sansi and her extra income, she was able to pay. Insert income disclosure statement here. Okay. It's already in that post that I shared last week. Number 5, write your goals down and tell people about your goals. It doesn't have to be us. I mean, I'm always welcome. I love hearing from you guys, and it's so rare that you share with me, and I wish that you would feel more comfortable sharing with me even when you're struggling, because that's human and I totally understand that. But if you find someone else to share with, your husband or your spouse or best friend or your mom or your sister, whoever's going to be lifting you up and boosting you and cheering you on, and that's someone who's important to you, share it with them. Statistically it's possible, or it's statistically, I'll forget the word that I'm trying to remember, likely that you're going to accomplish your goal when you tell somebody. When you write it down and tell somebody, it's like exponentially more possible that you're going to get that thing done. If you're not telling people, if I post on our team page, what are your October goals? Like, nobody comments on that. That's okay if you don't have goals, but like, also you're not probably going to get them done, because again, if you want them done, you're going to tell people. You're going to write them down. You're going to share. You're going to see them every day. I have them on a Post-it note on your mirror. Put them in your car so that's your reminder. That's why you're doing this. This is a goal of yours, and this is how your life is going to change for the better. I'm very intentional in my group every month when I ask what your goals are for, because again, it's statistically more possible that you're going to accomplish them. Number 6, find a buddy. Find a buddy is one of my favorite things to do. I've had a 2 or 3 Scentsy career buddies, and there are people that I share my goals with. I problem solve with them. I might vent to them. We never vent down. We vent sideways or up. That's the thing in Scentsy, if you've not heard that. And we share ideas. We make each other better. We have similar goals. They are some of my favorite people too, by the way. Here is the 3 legs of success if you're not sure. Now, I love that someone just recently, I haven't shared the picture yet, but they've changed the stool to a ladder, and what the ladder rung, so here's the side of the ladder, right? And the sides are self-care, and they hold up the rungs, the horizontal wood pieces of a ladder. So at the bottom ladder is PRV. You can't not get to the top unless you first get PRV done, right? And then get really good at PRV. Sponsoring goes hand in hand. The more customers and higher PRV, the easier it's going to be to sponsor. You want to make sure you have that leaky bucket of customers consistently flowing with new customers. No worries, Crystal. Thanks for hanging out. And then you have coaching. So the top rung is coaching. I love that, because you cannot have a well-balanced business without the self-care that holds PRV, sponsoring, and coaching. So I love that. I'm going to find that image and I'm going to share it with you guys. But this is an old one. Pardon me. If you don't have a system for PRV, you need to get one. And that marketing sales plan that I told you guys about sounds way fancier than it actually is. But I'm going to show you how to do that this week for November. So you're going to have that, okay? You're not going to have a strong business if your PRV isn't there. And if you are a leader, you should work your way up to consistently doing 2,500 PRV at minimum, because that's annual sales. That's going to get you the most bonuses. It's just going to be the best for your business. So maybe if your norm right now is only 200, using the Goldilocks rule again, maybe just shoot for something just outside of your comfort zone. Should push you a little bit. Sponsoring. I think that's where a lot of people are at right now, because I know people who are here, Diana, Rachel, you guys have great consistent PRV. Like, even though it might not be always where you want it to be, your PRV is consistently, I notice that you guys are working it. But having a way to find new customers to help continually build your customer base, and then grow that PRV, and then also have more people to share Scentsy with, and then have conversations about joining, will help in your sponsoring. Let's see. Coaching, don't want to let that scare you away right now from wanting to be a sponsor if you're maybe a new consultant watching this. But the training center has so many wonderful resources on sponsoring that has checklists. It has so much. Utilize what the workstation already offers you, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. There's no reason to reinvent. Use the documents that they supply, check it off. You know, it's an amazing thing that what new sponsors have for their new teammates, versus like what I had, which was non-existent when I started, you know, so many years ago. And we're here. We are here to support you. Like, I feel like I don't want to say family, because family doesn't always connotate great things, but we are like a really great professional sports team. We're here for you. We want to cheer you on. We want to help support you and get you to where you want to go, essentially. Like, again. All right. So systems for PRV sponsoring and coaching. So parties, how are you going to get your PRV? Parties, social media, referrals, samples, events, email, fundraisers, follow-up. These are just a small little in the bucket, because there's so many other ways that people can find new customers, but this is like a really good starting list. Sent boxes, mystery boxes, shopping links, payday parties. Those are all ways I also get PRV, but this is just a really good starting list. Some questions to consider. What is your PRV goal? How are you going to earn that? What tasks do you need to have in your daily, weekly, monthly checklist to make that happen? And how often are you going to do those tasks? What's going to help keep you accountable? Is it an accountability buddy? Is it a checklist? Are you going to share with a certain someone? I don't know. What rituals are you going to start that's going to help you create motivation and momentum in your business to get those tasks done? So you see how it all kind of stacks upon each other. You have a goal, right? But then you need a system, and you need those tasks within that system that happen daily, weekly, monthly. But when are you going to do those things? That happens in your daily routine, your daily routine. I'm going to say it again, your daily routine. And how do you reduce the friction to get started in your daily routine? That it is not a question of should I, but how am I going to get this fit into my day? Because I'm important, because my business deserves success, because I deserve success, because I deserve all the dreams that I have to come true. Like, I deserve to have those things, right? You do. And if that feels uncomfortable, I get it. But I'm going to tell you, you deserve those things. You do. And you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. So if you don't have a good system, let's work on that. A system is designed to make it easy for you to regularly repeat that task. Goals are target-based, but systems are skill-based. Does that make sense? That's quite a big difference there. The systems are the processes you put in place to help you achieve them. Goals tell you where you want to go, and they're focused on tomorrow, but systems tell you what you need to do every day to get there, and they're focused on today. And you can only control what you do every day. You cannot control your results. You only can control your daily to-dos, Goals create momentary change just for this moment. Hey, you earned a promotion. That's a momentary change. But systems, a daily system of high PRV, that's going to create lifelong change in your business, in your own personal life. Goals, in other words, can delay your happiness. I'm not going to be happy until I become a director. I've thought that myself. But here's the thing. I don't like it I don't like thinking that way, because systems, when you're focused on your system, your day-to-day tasks, you're happy now. You're not happy when the result happens. You're happy because you're doing the things that will get you the result eventually. And this is huge in your business. Not to say I'll be happy when Don't delay your happiness, you guys. Don't be down on yourself because you are not where you want to be in your business until you reach some milestone. No, you got to be happy in the daily. You got to be happy in the tasks that you're doing, and eventually the result will happen. By loving the practice of what you do, it's only the people who embrace their work as a craft who fall in love with the boredom of doing it every day in, day out, that stay driven over the long term. They stay motivated over the long term because they're enjoying the practice of it. If you love the practice of what you do, if you love the daily work, then you could be happy before you reach your goal and after you reach your goal. A lot of directors struggle with that. Once they get to that director goal, they're like, well, now what? Nothing's changed, you guys. I still do PRV. I still do sponsoring. I still do coaching. Nothing changes. You have to be in love with the practice of what you do. When you learn to love the practice and the process of what you're doing, you're not focused so much on the goal. You're going to automatically find happiness and stay driven. You're going to learn, did I read that? Learn to love the practice of working out, for example. Then you'll be happy right now and you'll see results later eventually. You're going to learn to love the practice of marketing your business. And then you'll be happy right now and you'll see the results later if you learn to love the practice of supporting your friends and your family, and you'll be happy. Then you'll be happy now and see the results later. Happy and driven. Just one more reason why the system is better than having just a goal. You need a system. Discipline with your systems get you the results. Results then turn into motivation. It's the results that happen that eventually is the motivation to keep going, right? But you got to start. You got to do the work first. You're happy during both events. Here are some systems for scheduling, some tools for you to utilize if you don't know where to start, some ideas. And that's okay to give a couple of these a try. I'm notorious. I've tried pretty much everything. Decide what doesn't work for you and then change it after 3 months. You know, if it doesn't work for you, try another system. It's totally fine. Let's see. And I'm it says here, my note says, I might change my system that I currently use in the future. It might evolve. And that's okay. It's expected to. It's not that the system, it's not that you're failing the system, it's that the system is wrong for you. So just remember that. Here is an Excel spreadsheet that I currently use. Yeah, oh my gosh, Diana, I love that you wrote that down. I don't think I'm unmotivated, I'm lacking a system. Exactly. Here's something that I use. So here's my daily habits, and notice that it's not perfect. I am okay with it not being perfect, but it is what I aim for on a daily basis. So I wake up at a certain time, gratitude journal, bike ride, because I haven't done that in forever, and get ready for my day, which means actually like brush my teeth, put regular clothes on, or at least clean jammies, because real life. Laundry, I start a little laundry or fold laundry. Homeschool, yes, I need a reminder for that. I need to get myself a little check mark for actually getting that done. News tab, connect with 2 to 3 teammates, whether it's you guys or other people, follow up, tend to my action needed emails, read 15 minutes, post a reel, which haven't been great at, but I'm trying, log my daily numbers. It actually is hyperlinked to my actual other spreadsheet that has my numbers, and it's bedtime by 2 a.m. on this particular snapshot. I only did that twice in that 10-day period, 3 times. Then I have a weekly checklist for each part of my business. My business comes first, and then my team comes next, because that is what you should be focusing to. If you are struggling with your own personal PRV, then that is where your focus goes first before you go and focus on your team. So that's why my goal is to have my own PRV goals met by the middle of the month, or at least the 3rd week, so that the last 2 weeks of the month I have available to spend on anybody else who needs help. On that note, does anybody have any questions? I'm getting warmer. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the sharing and the recording.